Hey guys, I want to share with you some of my favorite hip openers. Make sure that you do a good warm-up flow, some salutations, or an entire yoga flow class. These should really, hip openers should really be done at the end of a vigorous practice after your body has softened and loosened up, unless you are doing a hot yoga flow where you can scatter them in between. You want to have a pretty decent warm-up. Also, if you're doing a yin style of class and you just melt into the poses, then again, you don't necessarily need a particular warm-up. So your hips rotate in a multitude of directions. They're the largest joint in your body. And keeping your hips open is going to help to prevent injury, especially if you're an athlete or you're in sports, to nearby joints. So it's really important to keep them supple. You might want to strap, you might want to block, depending on how tight your hips are. Remember, this is not about becoming the most flexible person in the world. This is about maintaining health for our joints. So it's not about forcing or ripping your body to go too far. It's about being just being in the pose. So we'll start off with some that you may have heard of. Double pigeon, some call it 90-90, and some call it ankle to knee pose. If we're being literal, it's ankle to knee pose. And you can do it whether you're super tight reclining, or if you're way more flexible, walking forward. So you can start laying on the back. Let's move sideways so you can see the alignment. You're gonna place, let's start with the right side, right foot over the left knee. And then let the knee splay. For some of you, you're just working an inch, just working it. From there, you might already feel it. From there, you can lift up the bottom knee. You're gonna take your right hand and either thread it through underneath the knee or on top of the knee, whatever is more comfortable for you, and pull the top knee into the chest. As you pull the top knee into the chest, you're working the right knee back. It's energetic. You may not even see it moving, but you surely will feel it. You can also, if you can manage it, work your elbow in the knee crease and help to work the knee back. If you're ready to come forward, you can rock up, working your chest up towards the shin, grounding down to the sitting bones, and working that right knee again away from you. Ujjayi breathing. Inhaling through the nose, pinching the back of the throat, exhaling through the nose. If you're ready to go into the full pose, you're going to take the left foot, heel toe it across the mat so that you have the left ankle towards the knee. So it's ankle to knee pose, not foot to knee pose. Believe it or not, so like here, I'm pretty flexible. I don't feel anything. When it's ankle to knee pose, I surely feel it. Now, for some people, another way that they cheat is they let the foots, either the bottom foot end up coming back because they're avoiding the left IT band psoas, so don't let that happen. Or they start to let the top foot come back because they're avoiding the right IT band and psoas. So you want to make sure those ankles and knees are stacked. The knee might be up here, that's great, you can lean back and let that knee start to come down. If the knee is down, you can put your elbows onto the knee, onto the foot, put your hands in prayer and just be here. If you want more, you can walk out.
Bringing the forehead to the earth.
If you are feeling stuff in your knees or your hips are really tight, you may also find that taking a block underneath the hip, some like to play around with underneath the knee, or maybe it's the left knee. You can play around with that. This will help to give you some support in certain areas that need it. Make sure that you're taking at least 10 breaths in the pose. If you are not sure of your timing, just count your breaths. Really slow, steady inhales and exhales. Let's repeat on the left side. So you can take your legs out in front of you and shake it out, roll back, one vertebrae at a time. Place the feet flat, and cross the left foot over the right knee. Work the knee away from you. Pull the right knee up and into the chest. Now another thing you can do, if you can't quite get through yet, but still being here isn't enough, you can take your strap underneath the leg, through, and pull from here. That way at least you're getting something out of the pose if you're not quite ready to go here or here. You can use your left elbow in the knee crease and nudge the knee back. Big breaths in. Big exhales out. If you're ready, rock it up. Hands behind you, lifting the chest up. If you're ready, heel to the right foot across, lowering the left knee over the right ankle. Stay leaning back if you need to, and let the knee descend. If you need a block underneath left or right knee, feel free to utilize it. Make sure that you're stacked. If you like elbows on the knee and ankle, hands in prayer, stay there and breathe. If you want more, walk it out. Legs in front. Shake it out. All right, another pose that I want to share with you is taking it now in the hip in the opposite direction. This has been nicknamed Janu Padasana 2 or ankle to knee pose internal. It's really up to you what you want to call it, because it's a hybrid pose. So we're going to call it ankle to knee, variation 2. So placing your feet flat, you're going to go back to that same position you were in, left foot over the right knee, and then heel toe, your right foot across the mat, lowering the right knee down. Now if you find it's too much to have your left foot on your knee, you can always bring the foot flat and let the knee slowly come down. It's really important to make sure that your knee and your ankle and your hip are in one straight line. The tendency is this starts to happen, so just make sure that you are keeping the knee safe and in the proper alignment. From there, you can lie back and grab opposite elbows even over the head. Instead of thinking about the knee coming down, think about the knee lengthening forward as you lift the lower abdomen up. So you're actually lengthening in opposite directions, not pushing down. While we're here, I just wanted to share with you Something we've been talking about in my classes here lately, and this is the practice of svadhyaya, or self-study. Taking your practice of turning inward on your mat, off your mat, into your lives. And I think it all starts with us even getting on the yoga mat at all. And when we first come to this practice, I think for all of us, to release, you're going to place your left foot flat, slowly lift the knee up, as if you had any other choice to go any other way, and shake it out. And then we can come directly to the other side. Feet flat, right foot over the left knee, heel toed across. Even for the student that practices for, just a short time, has this revelation. And that's, we come to the practice and we generally are trying to come and get something, right? We may not even know what we're trying to get. We're trying to get sober, we're trying to get flexible, we're trying to get strong, we want to get a handstand, we want to touch our toes. But even if we are practicing, even if it's just a short time, we come to the realization that the practice really isn't about getting anything, it's about becoming something. It's about unbecoming things so that we can become who we really are. Again, we're lengthening away, lifting the lower abdomen up. And then slowly release. And shake it up. All right. The next hip stretch that I want to share with you is for the hip flexors themselves. And there's a couple ways to do reclining, half reclining thunderbolt, and this one is for that purpose. You're probably going to want to use a block. For some of you, you may not need to use a block to feel it. I know for me, I don't feel it unless I use a block. I'll feel it here, but where I really want to get is the hip flexor. So make sure you're feeling it in the proper place. You're going to take a block and scoot it underneath the hips. You can play around with it. You'll find the right position eventually. Now, this right knee, it can lift up, but what you want to be careful of is that it doesn't lift out, okay? If it goes out, you start to come out of the pose and you end up here. We want to be here, okay? This is also for safety of the hip. Now, the knee can start to lift up as you lower back. If you need more, I feel a really good stretch in the hip. I'm really good there. But if I needed more, I could put my foot on the knee and let it lengthen me even more out. But I did a really good core class this morning and I'm feeling it. So I'm good with my foot down today. And every day is going to be different. So listen to and honor your body on each day. If we are too busy comparing ourselves to yesterday and trying to force ourselves into yesterday's body, we're not practicing yoga. We're not in our body today. We're not respecting the body by any means. So respect the body, listen to it, and make no expectations for yourself, except for where you are at right now, being perfect. Switching sides. So the foot is, slightly outside. You can't really tell because it's really tightly close in. Okay, so you don't want to see your foot out to the side. That could really bother the knee. Eventually lying back. Some of you might be here, and that's good, right? You might come down here, and that might be good. You might be ready to lie back. You might be able to have the foot on top of the thigh, arms overhead. Really, you have to play around with it. Go slowly and be patient. Lock, legs in front. Shake it out. Now moving into a pose that gets at a little bit different angle than the 90-90 and also works the outer hip and the front hip flexor, both of the places in the body that we've already touched, is the one-legged pigeon. So one leg goes back, one knee bends in. What's going on with the front leg? You want to make sure you're not here, but your knee is slightly outside of the body. And the right foot might be close to the groin. As you become more flexible, you might want to work it forward. Flex the toes onto the earth, gripping it down. Lift up and over the back hip. This right hip is not on the ground, it's elevated. And then come all the way down to the forehead. If you want to add a little bit more to it, pull the right hip back. When you're ready to add more for the back left leg, you can come up and work a quad stretch, bending the back knee, grabbing a hold of the foot, squeezing the heel towards the seat. You just want to make sure the knee doesn't jut out to the side. I see this all the time. That's not the pose, and it's also not good for your knee. So make sure that you're up and over the top of the left hip. Other side. Left knee in. And right leg back. Rolling over the front of the right hip. Coming down to the forehead, flexing the left toes into the floor, drawing the left hip back. If you're ready for the quad stretch, reaching for the back knee, squeezing the heel towards the seat. Making sure the knee doesn't jut out to the side, but it's in line with your hip. And release. Legs to the front. Shake it out. Turn your feet out. This is different. This is for the IT band and hips, and fold forward as far as you can, and just try to surrender. You know when you're in it, when your body finally lets go, right? All right, Marichyasana. You might need a towel or a belt for a strap for this pose. So you place, we'll start with the right foot, one hand print away from the inner thigh. You want to garland or wrap around the front of the knee and eventually grab fingers or wrists. But if you can't, you can take a strap and start to walk your hands. So what you're doing on the strap is you're walking them closer until eventually you're able to hook hands. Drag the right knee foot back, crown of the head forward and fold. Revolve Marichyasana. So this one, the knee comes in really close and actually kind of crosses the midline a little bit. Again, you might want to use a towel or a strap. You're going to hook the elbow outside of the knee, wrap the arm around, and bind. If you need the strap, use the strap, twist over the right shoulder. And release. Legs out, shoulder roll. Other side. left foot flat, one handprint from the right thigh. Reaching the left arm around the front of the knee. Inhale, lengthen, drag the heel of the knee back. Exhale and fold. Revolve Marichiasana, hug the knee in. Hook the right elbow outside of the left knee. Wrap it around. Hook the fingers or bind. If you need a towel or strap to get started, you can use a towel or a strap, twisting, looking over the left shoulder. If it's not even gonna happen with a towel or strap, elbow outside of the knee, twist. And release. Legs in front. Shake it out, circle it out. You guys did amazing today. You took your hips in all different directions. Remember that health in the body comes from balance of strength and flexibility. And so we're looking to keep health for all aspects, especially our joints when we do hip openers. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them. I'd love to help you out. Have a magical day. Namaste.